Hi, my name is Klaus Bone, and I wrote a book, well, more than one, but the first book I wrote was 50 Principles of Composition. And I'd like to just maybe mention some of the ABCs that the composition in photography lends itself to. I asked a number of photographers, professional and amateurs as well, how many letters or how many principles or rules do you know in photography? And some people mentioned 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Maybe the most I got was around 7. 7 rules. Well, I'd like to share with you that there are no rules in composition or portraiture. I wrote the book 50 Principles of Composition in Photography. Can you imagine if you only had 7 ABCs, alphabet, to write a letter with or a poetry with? It would be very limiting. If we only know up to 7 or so compositional factors or principles, that will have a tremendous influence on the lack of expressing what photography really is or should mean to us. I'll just mention a few here and that have meant a lot to me. Number 1, my first principle in my book is moving close. We need to move in close in order for us to have the impact. There's 3 essential qualifications. Number 1 is the technical quality. How well did you expose the image, and how was the lighting and the composition, and moving in close or back up if you need to. Number 2 is the interest or impact, and that again we need to dominate the image with that vantage point. And number 3 is, of course, the composition, which I really am interested in sharing with you, and that's why I wrote the book. I'm going to skip to number 25. That is a pyramid composition. The Egyptians built pyramids way back when, and they still standing today, thousands of years later. A pyramid is solid. It gives us strength. And therefore, pyramid composition has been used over the years in paintings and also now in photography. Let's skip to 35, storytelling message. Most of us understand that. The purpose of a photograph is really to tell a story, either about the people or the scenery or the environment that we're photographing. It needs to be strong and solid because it is something that we should communicate with our clients or the people that look at it and want to enjoy it. Let's jump to 48. Principle 48. Surrealism is really the unreal to the natural structure. And a lot of times we have our imagination that is just, well, almost can't be recorded. Well, if we use our imagination, there are ways to record what we have dreamt about. And 50, imagination. Beyond the 5 senses. We must funnel all our senses into a visual. By no means an easy task. It needs to influence us through our eye. The last part of my book, just to help people understand that there's more to photography than perhaps just buying a digital camera and pushing the button on it because it's easy and letting it focus itself and let it adjust itself. A few years ago, a number of years ago, I decided I wanted to learn how to create, if you will, a more difficult way of presenting photography. So I took a course in broom oil, producing a broom oil. If you look on the internet, there's information on that. It's very difficult, one of the most difficult way of expressing photography because of the technical part behind it. You have to make your own paper and you have to fade it out and then you have to ink it back. It's all done with ink. I will be doing a video on that as well. And last year I was speaking in the States to a professional group from different parts of the world, and what I was sharing with them was the way I produce my G-clays. That's another method of presenting it, and it has the longevity. G clays will last hundreds of years because of the paper is acid free and because of the inks are special pigments. So that is really what interests me, is to preserve my images that I worked so hard in being able to produce, that it will last not only my lifetime but many lifetimes in the future. I'm very grateful for this privilege and this opportunity, and my desire is that you might enjoy the book. Thank you. 50 Principles of Composition in Photography. My website is www.photographicartvictoria.com. Thank you.